Hello? There we go.
Oh, now you
There
can
we
hear us,
go.
I think.
All right. There's going to be a little bit of a delay here, but please, guys, let us know. Let's see. We should be back. And refresh your screen.
Because it looks like it's probably a little bit fuzzy, too. Sorry, guys. It was a YouTube...
Okay, so we should be back, guys. And
YouTube will glitch.
For whatever reason, we saw there a little. We have like a little meter, and it shows the sound, and it wasn't showing anything. It wasn't registering. So all right.
Oh, luckily, we got Will and Jenny, little frickin' nomads in the house.
What?
I watched your second video this morning when I was on the treadmill at the gym.
That's like your new thing, is that
I watch YouTube on the treadmill.
Listen, guys. Listen, Thrifty Nomads. Please continue to put out content because Vicky needs something to watch while she's at the gym.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay. I need to actually watch more people because I can't watch YouTube while I'm working.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't support enough of our friends that are also YouTubers because I can't watch and work at the same time.
Yeah, which we're going to talk about a little bit more as we get into the show. It
doesn't work for me because I want to look at the screen. I want to see what they're doing, what they're showing.
Right.
And that therefore is useless.
You can't really use
3 things listed an hour when I do that. So it doesn't work for me. So I need to have I watch TV. I always have like Netflix or Hulu or whatever going,
TV.
But it's all background crap, So
John wants to know, when shipping shoes through pirate ship that are over £1, is it cheaper to ship in poly mailer? You mean a box inside the poly mailer?
Yeah, I think the other way around.
Well, for one thing, it just depends on like how big the box is. Ideally, honestly, shoes, if you can ship them without the box, that's going to be the easiest way. It's going to be the best way to fit it inside anything.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've shown this before, but I'll take a pair of shoes and I actually saran wrap them. I have my little handy wrap thing, there's a link down below in the list of products that we use. There's a link to these ones that we use on Amazon. And I'll actually wrap up a pair of shoes to get them into a nice solid little package. And most pairs of shoes I can fit in a 15 by 12 poly mailer, which is going to be a 0.2 tier cubic rate, which is going to be less than $9.
It's like $8, and
it depends on where it goes.
I think it's like $8.92 is the most expensive.
That's where it tops out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really like, I sent a jacket today it was like this big that big jacket that racing jacket. It wasn't a leather jacket. It's like a big canvasy, kind of like a Dickies, one of those big Dickies jackets.
Yeah.
And I was able to fit that in a 15 by 12. It weighed 4 pounds and it cost me $8.40 to send pretty far. So
yeah, John, you can ship a box inside a poly mailer. That is the second drop down when you're putting your dimensions in on Pirate Ship. It comes up automatically to list the dimensions of a box, and that does have a drop down. So you click the drop down, and it gives you all the other options as well.
So just check. So just compare and look. Try it with the dimensions of the box, and then try it inside a poly mailer, and just see which one's going to give you the better price.
Yeah, it's easy to not get distracted today. Facebook, I didn't see that Instagram is down. I haven't been on Instagram, but Facebook is definitely down today. It's super glitchy. Nothing will load. Which I'm totally cool with. We were afraid we thought it was our internet at first. Yeah. I'm like, oh shiznit. The broadcast is going to be a mess, but.
Yeah, I commented on somebody's Instagram, and it said, you can't comment right now. And I was like, okay. So then I went back like an hour later and it just happened to pop up again. I'm like, oh, and there were no comments. I'm like, oh, I'll put my comment in now. So I commented, and then it had my comment 3 times. Like the earlier one where it said you can't comment, it went, so it looked like I was like some sort of psycho, like saying the same thing.
All right,
3
psycho
times.
Weirdo.
Yeah.
So we got Virginia is here from Nova Scotia.
What?
Don't you know? And can you sell on Poshmark from Canada? We don't sell on Poshmark. I do believe I heard rumors that Poshmark is coming to Canada if they're not there already.
Yeah.
So Liz said the internet must be broken. Etsy has glitches today also.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. I haven't started to list yet because I've been shipping all morning. I don't know what is going on, but let me tell you, that eBay coupon yesterday, thanks eBay, because I had a fantastic sales day and I ended up shipping out 13 items this morning, and I had shipped early yesterday in the morning as well for things that sold overnight, early yesterday. So I think I sold like 16 items yesterday.
Crazy. Big Drift Thrift, Allison checking in from Hawaii. What are you doing
What?
looking at our faces?
Get off the stupid YouTubes.
By the way,
bask in the sunshine.
It's been a couple days now, but by the way, Big Thrift, Allison just had a birthday, so we're gonna say
so she's super old.
Yeah. So she's super old. But happy birthday, Allison. I hope you're having a good time there. So I have a question about so maybe some people who are in Canada can clue me in on this. So Poshmark, not in Canada right now, but what if you are a Canadian reseller who has access to, I think the service is like called Chit Chat or something like that. One of those services that actually take packages over the border. And I believe you use the USPS regular postal
I'm
rates.
pretty sure that Jody, that is the guy that sells on Poshmark that follows us, I'm pretty sure he's a Canadian that sells on Poshmark.
Right, but I'm assuming he has to be able to.
He must be doing it
that way.
on a .com or on the US app. Sure.
Well, but you have to. I think you have to be shipping from the US. Yeah. So
it's the same thing as a lot of our Canadian friends that have stores that live on the border, and they list on ebay.com instead of .ca. So it's the same thing.
DJ, there was a mobile only coupon yesterday. If you have the mobile app on your phone, you should have gotten an alert. It was also on the main page of the.
You actually got an email too, I believe.
Yeah,
I got an email through my our message.
I think so too.
Through my eBay messages that it was a coupon. So
it was
basically what Teresa did yesterday, and I copied her because she was super smart. But I went and did offers to watchers yesterday, and I sent out offers to watchers, and I put the message regarding that coupon through my offers to watchers, and I sold a few things that way. But also when people were sending me offers on items, I replied back with my counter offer with, hey, actually, if you use this with my counter offer, you'll save even more. So I think that was how I ended up closing a few of those sales yesterday.
You should always try to leverage those sales to help you, whether you have people who haven't paid yet or whatever. I mean, it's like
and I also had people that hadn't paid yet. So same thing, people that hadn't paid yet, and I sent the coupon and said, hey, if you pay today by 7 p.m. blah blah blah, this is put this code in and you'll save an additional amount of money, but you have to do it through your phone, through your app.
And for those of you, I mean, I don't think any of the people watching us would do this because you guys are all super awesome. But for those people who do, sellers that whine about like, ooh, what does eBay do for us? You got to understand when it comes to these coupons, generally, when you do like a markdown in your store, that's all part of doing business. But it's not actually money out of your pocket. It's just a lower price in your sale. But when eBay puts these coupons out there, it is literally dollars out of their metaphorical pockets.
Because you get paid the full amount.
Because if I sell something for $100 to somebody who uses that coupon, I get the full $100, which means eBay is having to take that 15% and they're having to pay it to me in real dollars. Like I get that actual money. So it costs them money. It's not
like I had one of my sales yesterday was a $200 sale, and my customer used that 15% off coupon. So they saved what did they say? I can't do maths. $30.
I don't know.
Yeah, they saved $30, but eBay still paid me the $200.
Right. So it cost eBay $30
just on that one transaction.
And so it all costs money. But guys, here's the most important thing about today. The most important thing right now. Did you know that 32 years ago today, in 1987, Evil Dead 2 came out in movie theaters? Did you know that?
Shockingly, that fact escaped my radar.
What are you doing to celebrate?
This is it. I'm listening to you talk about
I'm wearing my Evil Dead t-shirt, guys.
Oh.
In 1987, I wish I could have gone to the theater and seen it in 1987.
You were 7 years old.
I was almost 8 years old,
which is frightening.
Yeah, it is frightening.
You should not have been going to see that at 7, almost 8 years old.
Well, I did not go to see that, but when I was 7, I did see Return of the Living Dead, and it scared the bejeebers out of me.
Well, that's
but I think it also is what started my love.
It molded her crazy.
Yes, it started my love for zombies and for punk rock music. So Evil Dead 2, I did see Evil Dead 2 when I was in middle school, and I loved it.
See all this useless information filling up your brain, stopping you from finding a cure for cancer.
Well, I have been trying to find the cure for cancer, but I can't figure out why I can't find it. So anyway, guys.
So somebody did notice. I was about to be born.
Come on. Anyway, what were you about to say?
Somebody mentioned I have my bangs. I have my Betty bangs back.
Yeah, she got a haircut and she got a color. So Okay, so today's show, this is Boss Up and List Day. It's Wednesday. What's Boss Up and List Day?
That she always throws this one at me.
Well, come on.
It is our all-day virtual listing party. If you are in the Boss Facebook group, if you aren't, you should be. It is linked down below every show. It is led by the bossiest of bosses, Teresa. That is her Facebook group, and we are moderators or admins in the group.
Yeah.
And basically, it's our group where that particular day on Wednesday, Katie throws a post up when we talk about accountability. So we talk about our goals for the day. We do some goal setting. We talk about how many things we can get listed through the day, and how many, sometimes people want to get through a death pile. And it's their one day where you check in and you have some accountability with your virtual coworkers.
Yep.
And we kind of, egg each other on to try and get going.
And we at 11 o'clock Pacific time, we take a break and we like to talk about business in some way, something that hopefully can help us to be better sellers, to be better business owners. And here comes Allison. Say in 1987, she was in her first semester of university paying for beer on her meal card. So that's all good.
It's because she's super old, as we've already discussed.
Anyway, guys, so today we thought we would talk about something that I think everybody can relate to in some way. And we're talking about motivation.
Look, she's 87. I was born March of 88. Even younger. Shut up, Jim.
So we're going to talk about motivation. We're going to talk about balance, work balance, as well as work-life balance. And then we're going to talk about distractions and at least trying to avoid.
I don't know what your distractions. What? Squirrel. I don't know what you mean.
So anyway, but I'm sure, I don't know, like, people talk all the time about motivation, and you have particularly like any given day in any given Facebook group or, on YouTube or whatever, people will talk about like having bad sales. We have bad sales.
We do try to limit that in the Boss Facebook group. I do have to say, if you want to find a negative Facebook group that bitches and moans about eBay and scammers and customers are terrible and I can't sell anything and this is useless and all these resellers are ruining the business and eBay's ruined it for everybody. Here's the thing. There are a dozen plus of those that you can get into and be bogged down consistently by the negativity. It's really, really easy to find that type of thing. And if that's your jam, then go for it. But the reality is I think, and I think a lot of us believe the same way, is that negativity breeds negativity. So in the Boss Facebook group, everybody has those same issues. Don't get me wrong. We all have issues in our business and our day-to-day lives, slow sales, shitty customers, a bad transaction here and there, frustrations in business in general. But what we talk about in the Boss Facebook group is we do try to turn that negative into a positive. What can we do to handle the situation to make our businesses better in spite of this or because of this? What do we need to change? Things like that. And I think that is one of those things in business. It's, don't think of everything as a challenge. Think of it as an opportunity.
Well, the reality is in business and life, whatever, not every day is going to go perfectly. There's going to be, bad days, there's going to be like challenges that you come across, and it doesn't mean that things are going wrong.
Right. And everybody has a crappy transaction, and everybody has a customer that's a jerk once in a while, and everybody, that's the nature of being in retail or being in business in any type, in any way. You're going to have the slow weeks or the slow day or the slow month, or sometimes you're going to have a slow year or a slow quarter. It happens, but bitching about it has never helped anybody anywhere.
But I know that one big effect that it can have when you're having a slow sales day or you're having a slow week or a month, one impact it can have is on your motivation. It is so, I know that's true. Like if I'm having like a few days where I'm really having terrible sales, it can be super hard to stay motivated, to want to list more, to want to kind of keep focus. And I know you have that. You have that happen sometimes. You're just like, ugh, I don't really feel like
having a day.
I get it. Totally get it, guys. And so we're going to talk about like motivation, because the thing is, you're not always going to be motivated. You're not always going to want to list. You're not always going to want to. You're going to be having a crappy day. But how do you stay motivated? And honestly, you're not always going to be motivated. But guess what? If you have, let's say you have like a 9-to-5 job. I'm sure for those of you that do this full time, at one point you did have a 9-to-5 job. I had a 9-to-5 job at one point. You don't really have the option of not being motivated. You can't like call in and be like, listen, not feeling very motivated to work today. not really feeling it. I mean, yeah, you can call in sick sometimes, but there's a limit before you're going to lose your job, right?
Right.
There's a limit. Like you get to take a personal occasionally, but there's a limit. But you don't have a choice. And so I guess my question is, what is it about what we do that people think like, oh, now I do have that choice. I'm just going to go ahead and be unmotivated.
Well, I think it's a lot easier when you have your own business or you don't have a time card that you need to punch to take a day, and then that day turns into 2 days or 3 days or a week where you just don't do anything because you just want to be a couch potato and surf the internet or read a book or lay in front of the pool or, you know, whatever it is that you do for downtime. I think that it's a lot easier to do that if you are not if you're not accountable to a boss.
Right.
So
but guess what? You do have a boss.
You do.
Who's your boss?
Yourself.
Exactly.
That is the most important thing, I think, about finding motivation.
Yeah.
Is that you need to hold yourself accountable. You need to treat yourself like an employee.
And I get like not everybody is doing this full time. Not everybody is doing this as their primary source of income.
And not everybody needs to,
right?
You know, needs to make an X dollar goal in order to keep the lights on. I understand that. A lot of people have secondary incomes. They have a primary position or a primary job. They may have a spouse or a partner that foots the majority of the bills. So they don't need to worry about, you know, hitting a certain dollar amount. And certainly being hungry motivates you more. I mean, we all know that. But it's still important whether you're keeping this as whether this is a hobby or a part-time job that you're trying to earn some extra income, or a full-time job.
And if you're watching this, and that probably means that it's important to you, even if it is just something that's part-time as opposed to full-time. But finding that motivation is important. And Allison makes a really good point. Comparing yourself to other sellers is self-destructive.
Absolutely. Because some people are like, oh my God, look at the 75 packages they're sending out. I'm never going to do that. And the reality is if you compare yourself to other sellers, you're just going to find yourself discouraged, and there's always going to be somebody doing better than you. So you're always going to find yourself falling short.
Yeah. Well, I say when you see that kind of stuff, look at that as motivation, look at it as inspiration, like something to strive for.
Do.
But you also need to be aware, you need to understand, like anything else in social media, they're only showing their A game. They're only showing the A reel. They're not showing you, a lot of times they're not showing you what their actual costs are. They're not showing you what went into hitting those numbers. And so you're comparing yourself to something that's not real.
And everybody's lifestyle is different. You know, you don't know what their overhead is, what their costs are in general. And I don't mean just us. I mean, you know, anybody. You don't know what their obligations are, what kind of money they need to bring in. You don't know what their, you know, physical and health situation might be. You have no idea what people are putting out each month. So what type of money they need to put in, and what type of money, you know, like Sandy says, I'm me, I'm not you.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. Everybody has different goals, but motivation is something that you need in order to meet your goals, whatever your goals might be. You need to have goals.
Yeah. And honestly, like what I'm saying is, like, you have to make your own motivation. And when you have a 9-to-5 job, you don't really have the luxury of being motivated. Right. That's the reality when you're working for yourself too. If you're waiting for like this magical day when you're just going to be on fire, which sometimes that happens, you're just on fire and you're like, I'm so excited, I want to just get a bunch of stuff listed, I'm going to do it right now. If you're always waiting for that to be what's happening in your life for that day, you're probably going to end up having a lot of days where you're not getting anything done because sometimes you're just not motivated. And so that's where it's like, you have to look at, how are you looking at your business? Are you just waiting for those days to happen?
I've always been motivated by money personally. So
yeah. I mean, I think to a certain degree, you know, like we're really lucky in that we just have a certain mindset of like how we like to do things, but there's still parts of what we do that we have a hard time finding motivation for. Sure. You know, I'm like a horrible procrastinator.
Oh, she's awful.
Now, do I procrastinate sourcing? Do I procrastinate photographing? Do I procrastinate listing? No.
Just everything else. Everything else in the entire world.
And that's part of the balance that we talk about. But yeah, so like Allison says, having an accountability partner can help. Also, you know,
for me, I've always been in sales. My entire life I've been in sales, and I have never had a 9-to-5 job. I've never had a 9-to-5 job where I've had a salary or was paid by the hour. It's not since I was 19 years old. I have always been 100% commission and 100% sales, and I've always needed to make my, you know, your only income is yourself. Your only limit to your income is yourself. And that's always been my lifestyle, and that's been always, I've never had a guaranteed paycheck. So I've always had to work hard and hustle for it. So for me, I think that was already something I brought into this business.
Yeah.
But not everybody has that.
Right. And part of it is like, finding accountability. So like taking advantage of something like our boss Facebook group. We do these Wednesday, boss up and list day virtual listing party. And that's really just like you come in, you check in the morning, you state what your goals are. And by putting them out there for other people to see, gives you a certain sense of accountability. And now you're going to be more motivated to get done what you say you're going to get done, because you want to be able to come in at the end of the day and say, hey, this is what I was actually able to accomplish. And we do that on Wednesdays, but honestly, every other day of the week, we also do, I put up a 2 or 2 post. And the whole idea behind that's the same similar thing. It's like, okay, no matter what, at the very least, you can list 2 new items. And if you can't even manage that, you can even at the very least beyond that, you can go in and end your 2 oldest items, maybe do a little changes,
5 minutes,
do a sell similar, and even that can take 5 minutes. So let's say you need to take a personal day because you just can't anymore. You're like, I can't even. I can't even. At the very least,
and we've all had days like that.
You can be laying in bed, not dressed, not showered, and on your phone, you can end a couple listings and do sell similar, and then be like, all right, I'm done with today, going back to sleep. Now, not to say that should be happening every single day, but sometimes you need to. But at the very least, now if you take advantage of that and you get in the boss group and you do the Wednesday show or do the Wednesday listing challenge, and then every other day of the week, you just check in. And even if it's only your 2, at least you've got that going for you. And you set those habits and you keep on top of that and you stay accountable.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading what Robin put. Anxiety and depression really hurts this, and you try to stay positive, but it's hard. I can be the first person to attest to this, and Katie knows me well enough now. She's been through 2 winters with me. I have been really, really struggling these last couple months personally with that. So I also have PTSD, I have anxiety, and I have depression. So these past few months, I'm generally very much able to do mind over matter for that, and I know that's not the case for everyone else. But these last few months, I very much have been struggling, and I've been really down, and it takes a lot for me to kick myself in the ass and get motivated. And part of it has been the weather. It's been colder, and it's, for me, the sunshine is a huge motivator. Like the fact that it's bright and sunny again today, and we went to the gym this morning, that's part of it too, making myself go back into going to the gym, which I really hate. A lot of people don't like the gym. I don't like the gym. I've never liked the gym. And if you say you like the gym, I think you're lying to yourself, but it's okay. But getting that extra endorphin rush by going to the gym early in the morning means that for the rest of the day, I have energy to do all different kinds of things. And that makes a huge difference to me.
But the thing is, like, even with like going to the gym, because in the past I have been at points where I like going to the gym, but I never start out liking it. It's always a chore when you very first start and you go the first few times. But it's the same thing as what we're talking about here. Once you create a habit out of it, once you make yourself do it repeatedly, and then you build that habit, which they say, they used to say, it takes like 20 some days to create a habit. Actually, it's something like 70 something days where you are doing it every single time and you're following a certain schedule. Then you'll get to the point where not going bothers you. Like not getting it done is going to get on your nerves, or it's going to irritate you, or it's going to cause anxiety, and you're going to need to get it done in order to feel okay. And that's just kind of like how habits work. And so the same thing comes into business. So that's where I would say, that's where we get into kind of the discussion about balance, because that's part of motivation too, is like creating the balance. Because let's face it, like a lot of sellers, they love the part of the job that they love is the sourcing.
Right. Everybody loves buying, shopping, sourcing.
Yep. You always want to be looking to buy something more. And it's like that kind of fulfills like that little, whatever the endorphin rush you get from getting to buy something new, whatever it is. I mean, obviously being people love to shop. It's a thing.
Right.
It's nothing new.
Nope. I love to shop.
And so there's something about doing this work where you feel justified. You can rationalize to yourself.
Buying for resale.
Right. That you're being productive, like going out and buying stuff. You're being responsible because it's part of your job. It's what you do. But if you're doing that multiple times a week and you're not really selling, that's a problem, because you have to be able to, see, DJ says I get motivated when something gets sold. So that means every 3 months. But seriously, like it really can be demotivating to not have sales. Somebody has said that when they don't have sales, they list more. Now that's what you need to be doing, because usually if you're not selling, one way to bring that activity back up is to list more.
But a lot of people don't think
that's
that way,
hard.
and it's hard to get yourself around that. And the struggle is real. Noelle says, as many people have said, and Captain Bill, I've paid my gym membership for a year. I've gone 4 times, so I'm with you. I like to pay the gym membership and not go. That's generally the case. But it is, as we've mentioned before on previous shows, there are a lot of people that has this type of job or do this type of work because they need to, because they cannot work a 9-to-5 job, whether it's due to anxiety, depression, mental health issues, or it's physical issues, whether they have some type of chronic autoimmune diseases. We have a lot of people that have that, different types of levels of abilities and disabilities that make reselling the ideal job for them. People that work with lupus or rheumatoid arthritis or MS and have massive flare-ups, and so that they're chronically fatigued and they can only do a little bit at a time. Maybe they have a good day and then they have 2 bad days and then a good day, and so this type of work is ideal for somebody like that. But it's also, because of that, it's very easy for you to remove yourself from life, from work in any capacity, and so you've got to be able to find that balance. That's the biggest part.
And I think a lot of that comes from figuring out some sort of schedule for yourself. So remember, you're your own boss, and on the flip side, you're your own employee. Like, you're not going to a regular job, which generally sets a schedule for you, tells you which tasks need to be done in a certain time period. So you need to be doing that for yourself, because you can't draw your motivation just from getting sales, because you need to get the work done in order to get the sales. And it's kind of like a vicious cycle if you kind of put yourself in that position. So I know for me, having a schedule helps a lot. Hey, Red Neckerson Resales just busted out $1.77 super chat. Yeah! Thanks, Red Neckerson Resales. You all right?
Yep, good.
Anyway, setting a schedule, like, for me, it helps a lot. I like having a schedule. When I lived back in Oregon, I had like anywhere from 2 to 3 days a week, usually 2 for sure, where I would go, and I did it on the same days, and I would go to the same places. And I'm not saying that's how you have to do it, but for me, having that structure really helped a lot to make sure I was getting stuff done. And here, it's like I have Thursdays is when I go sourcing in a normal regular week. So I go all day Thursday, and then I have it kind of like, it's kind of ingrained in my head now that Thursdays I do that. Friday, I'll just do my regular listing. And then later in the day, I'll process and kind of prep my clothes for photography. And then Saturday, I spend the whole day photographing everything that I sourced on Thursday. And then it's kind of like it's kind of like a goal for myself, is that I try and get at least most of that stuff listed within the next week before I go sourcing again. And so, like, I've already listed everything I sourced on Thursday. It was a lighter day. So now I've been listing some of my previous stuff. But it's like, because I kind of have it scheduled out, it's like I stick to it.
She hates when her schedule is
thwarted.
I
do really hate
like
it.
So tomorrow is her day to go sourcing, and that's cool. But I still have so much stuff to list that I'm probably not going to go tomorrow, which means I'm going to go do garage sales and estate sales on Friday and Saturday, which I love when she goes with me, but she's not going to go with me because she's got all of her.
I got my stuff I got to do.
Done. So,
I got my stuff I got to do. But yeah, like tomorrow I'm going to go sourcing, and I actually have, we have a phone call that we have to be on at 9. And 9.
Is it at 9?
Yes. And 9 is when Savers opens. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave here. I'm going to take my little Chromebook with me. I'm going to get to my first sourcing destination, and I'm actually going to sit in the car, participate in well,
it's only like a 30-minute call usually, so
30 to an hour. But so I'm not going to get to start when I normally want to, but that's what I'm going to do, so that right when I'm done, I can immediately go in and start sourcing. But I have that schedule. And then, of course, daily, it's like we do our shipping first thing, and then we move into the next phase of it. But guys, you got to have some sort of balance. And if you need to have a schedule set up in order to create that motivation for yourself, then that's what you're going to have to do.
I'm a list maker for me. So like I have my list downstairs. I'm a handwritten person. A lot of people put everything on their phone, right? I'm not that. So I have my handwritten list, and I always on the weekend I will put a list of things that I need to accomplish for the week going forward. And if I don't accomplish, and I check stuff off, and I love checking stuff off. And if I don't get it checked off, then it carries into the list for the next week. So I've got a bunch of things that kind of actually are her things that are on my list that haven't been done in weeks that keep carrying over. But you know, it happens. Like but I put stuff off too. Like I have 3 post office claims I need to make for damaged items. I've refunded my buyers weeks ago, but I haven't done my claim, and I only have like another week or 2 to get them in, or I'm going to forget. Well, it's just, it takes 10 minutes, but have I done it yet? No.
Yeah.
So everybody has that thing that they just don't do.
It's true. It's true. And I'm the same way. Now we're talking about like the work balance and making sure that you balance your work so you're getting the stuff done that has to get done, like listing and stuff like that. And you know, I think we're pretty good with that for the most part. But then there's also the work-life balance, which we're not so good at.
We're not as good at the work-life balance, although the last week has been good and we're making it happen.
Yes. And part of that, you know, because honestly, like I would be pretty happy. I could pretty happily get into a rut where I work way too many hours. The thing is, I really like what we do.
Pretty happily, you have pretty happily.
But part of that is the habit thing. Because I'm in the habit of doing it, that I keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. So it's not that I would be unhappy bringing other parts into my life. It's just that I get so into the habit of doing it a certain way that I have to like force myself to change that up. And so one of the things is like doing more things with our friends. And then also we have said before, like, oh, we want to make sure that we're doing something once a week, going out and doing something different, something fun, just the 2 of us, or, you know, with friends too, if we want to. And then we'll do something once and then we kind of forget about it and go back to just our old habits of like working nonstop.
Like it can't just be working and sourcing, right?
Yeah.
We love both of those things. We both love to work, we both love to source, but we really do need to do stuff that is not eBay and resale related.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So what we've done, and other people do this, and it might sound silly or almost, I don't know, unromantic to like schedule a time, like a date night. But I think that's how you like make sure that you're putting that time aside. And for me, having something scheduled really, really helps. And so like we have decided that Saturday night is date night. So whatever it is.
It could be date night with other friends. It could be anything. We're just going to make sure that we get out of the house and go do something.
Yep.
Whether it's dinner or it's you know, dinner and a movie or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just going to be not reselling and not just not reselling related. That's all.
For me, it helps a lot to be like Saturday night doesn't matter. It's already on the schedule. This is what we do. We get done with work by whatever 6 o'clock, whatever it is we decide to do. Like I already told her, I'm like, so the 23rd on Saturday, I already have our date night booked because I really want to go see. It's a new horror movie coming out called Us. And so you're going to be, you know, probably telling me how much you hate me through the whole thing.
Yes. And this Saturday date night is it's actually with girlfriends. We're doing girls dinner. So.
All right. See, so we've got, so we're going to we want to make sure that we're doing that moving forward because we do need to take that time. I know people say like, oh, all work and no play, blah, blah, blah. But the thing is like, I really like what we do. I like what I do for a living. So it doesn't feel like it's just work. So that makes it even harder to like kind of make that balance happen. But Red Robin Reseller just gave us a $5 super chat. She was crying 15 minutes ago, came on for music. It's my go-to and saw live. Really needed this. Thanks. Don't know if you realize how much you guys help. Robin, thank you so much. And I'm glad that we were able to help out. We wanted to do the show. I know we've talked about this stuff before, but it's something that we see come up a lot and people talk about it a lot. And so it's like, we just kind of wanted to like touch on it again and have like a show just kind of committed to this. But super chat, she's super chatty. Yeah.
I don't think that was the music she was looking for when she came on, but
did you ever know that you're my super chat hero? What? No? You don't think so?
Just stop.
All right, I'll stop. I guess we're probably not going to provide the best music. But anyway, Robin, thank you so much. I don't know. It's tough. It is tough, but you got to kind of figure out like what it is that's going to be the thing that's going to help you to get the job done, because it is a job. It is a job. So you got to find that motivation, find that thing that's going to help push you forward. What are you saying? You saying, yeah?
She's laughing now, so it helped. All right. Goal accomplished.
That's good. That's good. Let's see. So I wanted to get into distractions, because I think that's one of the things that, like, it's so easy. If you're not motivated, it's so easy. Like, I don't know. Have you ever, I think you do this sometimes, where it's like there's something that needs to be done, but you don't want to do it. And so then somehow you end up cleaning the whole house.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. All the time.
Which, like,
I'll go in a room to get something, and then oh wait, I need to fold this load of laundry. Oh wait, no, wait, I got to go answer that email. Oh wait, 1 second, I've got to go get something upstairs. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be listing this. Yeah.
So when you're not motivated to do, because it's like, it's easy when it's something you're excited about. Like, it's not like, oh, I need to get motivated to go sourcing. No, that's easy. But when you're not motivated, it's even more. It's super, super easy to get distracted by stuff.
I am, and the overwhelmed is the other thing too. So if any of you, and I think there are several of you that battle, depression, anxiety, that type of thing, there is this this unwritten thing, like there is the big thing that you just can't do. So it doesn't matter what it is. It could be the dumbest thing ever. Oh, I have to call and make a dentist appointment. That is this insurmountable task. So you'll do everything but that particular task, whatever it might be. Oh, I have to list this pile of stuff in the corner. So I'm going to list every single other thing except that, because I can't even look at it right now.
You want to talk about that stuff on the side of the house?
No, because I've got that stuff on the side of the house. That's mine.
I'm not letting you change your mind about tomorrow. And if you try to change your mind, I'm going to be like, no, you're working on that stuff on the side of the house.
I have a bunch of other things to list.
But of course there's like the obvious distractions, like there's YouTube, like right now, guys.
I'm pretty sure that's not Devin, but hey, in case it is.
I'm sure. There's YouTube, there's Facebook, there's messages, there's Twitter, there's Instagram, there's all these things that can be super, super distracting. And I know for me, I actually have to turn them off.
Yeah, you're getting better at that.
Like, I'll go on Facebook and I'll just like, and I'll even say to her, I'll be like, hey, I'm turning Facebook off, which means I'm not going to see the messages. So if you need something, just yell at me. Don't send me a message, because I'm not going to see it. On my phone, I have
Devin, I gave you a phone. Thanks, Devin. Thanks, fake Devin.
Awesome. My phone, I actually hate hearing my phone ring or any kind of dings. I have not once in my 3.5 years of selling on eBay, I have not once heard my phone cha-ching.
Well, I don't know what that's like, but
so I actually
mine's usually on silent.
I actually have my phone on do not distract, not just silent, but do not distract, so I don't get anything. Like, I have to physically pick up my phone and look at it, and even then I don't have my Facebook notifications on my phone. I have them turned off, so I won't see. I have to actually open the app in order to see if there's anything on there. The only thing that comes up on my phone are messages and text messages, and that's it. That's pretty much it. And so it's like, because here's the thing, it's like I got to get into like a zone. Like when I'm listing, I will get into a zone, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, you got 30 something listed yesterday, plus 20 something.
Because I turned everything off.
Yeah, yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, if I have my Facebook open on the screen over here, how like even if the tab is not clicked on and if something else is covering it, like up at the top it'll like have like a little 1 or a little 2. And so if I'm like listening and I look over there and I see that, I'm gonna go look at it, and then I get sucked into it. Even if it's just for 2 seconds, it takes me out of my flow, man. And it's like,
I need to do that.
It's such a time suck. And she'll be like, oh, well, I'm answering things. You don't go on there and answer questions on Facebook. And I'm like, yeah, because I turned it off. Like, nobody's telling you have to do that.
Okay, so we've got the Facebook group too, right? So I try to, and I'm not in it as much as I should be, and but I try to go in and help and answer questions. Now, the thing about the Facebook group, the Boss Facebook group, you guys pretty much all self-modulate, moderate each other, and everybody's very helpful and answers questions for everybody. But I do feel like the admins need to be in there and answering questions too. So I try. But oh God, I run out of time in the day. I just run out of time in the day. So I do have my phone on silent. So my phone doesn't distract me, but I need to really log out of
now I know Facebook that sometimes I'll see sometimes in certain chats, you'll because you can, in your chat, you can actually turn it. What do you call it? Like, you can take a
time out.
You can time out. You'll time somebody out so you don't get like a bunch of stuff. But still, it's like I don't think people realize like how much that stuff distracts you.
It does. It absolutely distracts me.
And it's like, and especially if we're home together, it's like there's nothing that's going to come up on my phone or in Facebook that's going to be an emergency that needs to be looked at right now. Now, I might look at it like once an hour or so, and I'm on Facebook, or I'm sorry, not Facebook, I'm on eBay, so I will see if something sells.
Or you get an offer.
Or if I get an offer. So it's like I see the stuff I need to see right away, but I don't need to see that other stuff. Like I even got rid of, you have this on your computer, but I got rid of the pop-up notifications, because it'll actually pop up on your screen even if you're not even like, even if you don't even have Facebook open,
like Messenger.
If you're logged into your Facebook but you don't even have that open, it'll still pop up on your screen, like in the corner.
True. I don't know how to do that.
And I have that. I'm like, I don't want any of that crap, because it's like it just constantly pulls you out of what you're doing.
Hey, Jackie from Houston.
Yay! Jackie says, hey y'all. Hey y'all.
Hi y'all.
Oh, hi y'all.
And Jamie's my husband's my distraction. Bless his heart. She's got to be a Southern girl too. Bless his heart.
Now that goes into a whole nother thing, because we're talking about social media, but there's all these other distractions that happen. So like you have kids now. I don't even know how.
Right? How many? I don't know how. I really don't. God bless you people that do this with small children in the house. I don't understand.
Especially once you hit summertime and there's no school. Like at least when they're in school, if they're old enough to be in school, at least you have that time.
A block of time, yeah, for sure.
Like a small block of time. But
well, Sally, if you're coming to Open, you'll absolutely meet us. So definitely just come up and say hi. That's the thing I got to keep reminding people is that, you guys know what we look like and you know who we are from watching the show or whatever. Please, we don't know what you look like necessarily. So come up and say hi, introduce yourself, and maybe give me a screen name that you've used on Instagram or on YouTube, because sometimes, or a lot of times, people don't use their real name. So we don't always know who anybody is. Yeah. Except for by the fake name.
Yeah.
So
Sally, was there last year and didn't say hi. Come on, Sally.
Why are you chickening out?
Come on.
We're very approachable people.
But when it comes to kids, it's kind of hard to get around that unless you can get them in school or whatever. It's kind of hard to get around those distractions.
When they're taking naps.
But let's talk about other adults, guys. Whether it's a spouse or your friends or maybe family that happens to be visiting for too long.
Yeah, like that's part of it. Yeah, or family that's visiting for too long.
Now, that's where
our friend that's not watching right now is going through that.
That's where it's like, it's really up to you. Like, first of all, you need to be treating it like a job, but then you got to deal with like getting other people to realize it's a job, and there's setting boundaries, because it is really easy to get distracted by other people who think that they can take your time from you because you don't go to work and you don't have a job. And so it's really,
they don't consider this a real job. Like, how many of you have family members and friends that don't think you have a job? They don't think you're working. So they're going to call and drop by and say, oh, let's go get coffee in the middle of the day a million times. Now it's great to have the flexibility to do that. But on the other hand,
we definitely take advantage of that.
It's definitely something you can't do every single day, because you have a job. You have a job and you have limited hours in which you can do your job.
Yeah. Now, I will say it will help you immensely if you set a schedule for yourself. Now, we kind of have like a sort of a schedule that we follow, but we're able to be flexible.
Right. And we don't have kids. And we don't have kids. I have a daughter. She's 26.
Well, that's why I say the kids part is, I'm going to set that aside, because when you got kids at home, there's not a whole lot you can do about forcing them to respect a schedule.
But the other thing, it's not just the kids. It's you need to have your family, your family and your friends need to respect that. You respect your time and respect. And that's what it comes down to, is you learning how to set boundaries. Because if you're always letting them distract you and letting them walk right in and not valuing your time and your job, then you've allowed this.
Yes.
So what you've allowed to happen is going to continue to happen until you set boundaries.
Right. And so that's why I think that if you take that first step of creating some sort of schedule, some sort of structure for yourself, it will help you to kind of set those boundaries and stand up to those people in your life that, and it's not to say they're doing it to hurt you. Some people just don't get it. They don't understand. And so it's up to you to make them understand. Like, we live in Vegas, so it's easy for us to get a lot of visitors throughout the year. We get a lot of friends coming to visit, family coming to visit, and we love that.
Oh, Lorna, no, I think you came in just at the right time. I don't know what you're talking about.
But we have to set those boundaries and say, we have friends come to visit. They know that this is what we do for a living. They know that if they come to visit us, we
We're
need to
working
work
at
a
least
certain
half of
amount
the
of
day.
time. Now, are we getting as much done as we normally would? No, probably not. But they still know, like, listen, I got to put in a few hours of work, and then at this time we can go and do whatever. But you have to, it's like, you are the one that has to set those boundaries, because for all they know, it's like, oh, we can just do whatever we want. We can just hang out. We can just go have fun.
Right.
What's going on?
So when you have family and friends that show up unannounced or come and visit and stay an extended period of time, they need to understand that you have a job, just because you work from home doesn't mean that you are not working, that you need to have dedicated time and hours and the time to do what you need to do. An online job does not mean you don't have a job. It just means that you have more flexibility. Yes. But if you're not putting the time and energy into your job, then what are you going to do?
Yeah. So Carol
D, I'm sorry we didn't get to talk to your son. He should have interrupted us. There were so many people there I didn't know at all at the Oregon meetup, and I think most of the people there were there to see Chaz and Trista and Wade, but most people I didn't know. We only knew a few people there.
Now Angie says it pisses her off to no end that she works her ass off and others thinks it's just her hobby. Now some of that, it's like you gotta like somehow have to come to a point where you just don't care what other people think.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's people who think this is just my hobby. I'm sure people think, oh, it's a fun thing
all the time. I have a lot of friends.
But to be honest, like I don't really care, and I'm not going to let that be a part of my world if I'm going to think about it, because it's just a waste of my energy. So I'm just going to focus on my work, on being successful in my work and getting my stuff done. And I mean, I know that, like, I think to a certain degree, I am lucky that I just have a mindset where I'm like, meh, whatever.
I mean, I certainly have friends and family that have never considered this a real job. I've been doing this full time for almost 12 years and been able to support myself all of that time financially, and making more money than I did with a 9-to-5 job, way more money, and more money than most of my friends do at a 9-to-5 job. And that's not what I'm trying to compare it to, but the reality is a lot of my friends never considered this a real thing. And, because we've been doing this YouTube and doing a little bit more teaching and stuff, I've been posting solds on Instagram and that also go on my Facebook page. And everybody, all of a sudden in the last 6 months since I've started doing that, because it's partly to teach, friends are going, oh, I want to do what you do. You should teach me to do what you do. I can't believe you're doing so well. Well, I've always been doing this. I just haven't been posting it on Facebook. A lot of work. And I'm sorry, but no, you decided because I seem to be making money that you seem to think I'm making money. I can't all of a sudden just teach this to you. It's taken me many years to figure out how to do this.
And part of the whole setting boundaries thing, it doesn't even have anything to do with the other people. So it's not your job to explain to them why this is your job or why you have to take this time to do your work. You just do it. And that's where that's where you have to, because I think part of it is that people get upset and they get frustrated because they're trying to explain why this is the case and why it needs to be this way. And the reality is you're probably never going to make them understand. Maybe you will, but you're probably never going to make them understand. And so that shouldn't be your goal. Setting boundaries is just stating that this is the way it is, and then you do what you need to do. And maybe they're going to be frustrated, maybe they're going to be hurt, maybe they're going to be angry, but over time, if you continue to stand up and say this is how it works, and then you just go do your work, they're going to figure out that there's nothing they can really do about it. And they're going to have hurt feelings, and it's not your responsibility to make them not have hurt feelings and to not be upset.
Well, yeah, you're not responsible for other people's reactions or feelings.
And so I think there's some people who feel like they need to make people understand that, and it's like, no, you don't, because the reality is you can't change how other people think or feel, or how they look at things. You can only change how you react to it, or how you kind of go through your work day. You can only control yourself, your own thoughts and your own actions.
I'm getting better at that.
Yeah.
Lori had mentioned, she said that it doesn't seem like I have anxiety and depression, things like that, because of what she sees is on YouTube, and not that, what you see is what you get with me. I'm definitely much more relaxed doing this than I might be in person. If you were to meet me in person, I am friendly and I'm open, but I'm a little bit more reserved if I've never met you before, because I'm definitely have a little bit of social anxiety, but it's not too bad. My anxiety is less social anxiety than just my own general anxiety. But if, Katie can attest to the fact that I'm a hot mess most of the time. So, you just learn to,
you get frustrated.
Yeah.
So like today, she was like getting really upset because she couldn't find a box to fit something, and then she called me down to help her. And it wasn't because she couldn't figure it out. It was because she was getting frustrated to where it was keeping her from being able to figure it out. But then the second I got down there, she basically came up with her own solution and was like, so I think my job is really more like to calm you in those moments when really you can figure it out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And she is very calming to me because I tend to build up all my anxiety when I'm like, oh my God, I have 9,000 things to do and everything is happening at once. And my nickname is Chicken Little for a reason. The world is ending when really I just need to be able to break things down and take, okay, this is do one thing at a time and do one thing at a time and do one thing at a time. And I know and understand that that is something I need to do. My brain knows that, but it doesn't always do that. And sometimes it really does take her or somebody or anybody really just saying to me, okay, calm the F down. You don't need to do everything at once. You just need to do this today. Let's just focus on this. And sometimes she literally needs to tell me that.
Mm-hmm.
So it happens.
It does.
It happens. So it's, and I think that that's a real thing that a lot of people don't talk about. And a lot of people, especially women, I think anxiety affects women far more than it affects men. I believe there are statistics about that. Don't quote me on that, but because we tend to internalize things far more than men do. And not to say that men don't have anxiety as well, but I think women in general tend to internalize things and tend to fault themselves for things. And that's just the nature of being a woman.
Mm-hmm. And I'm just really lucky that I'm like, whatever.
She's like a 13-year-old boy.
I don't know what's wrong with you guys, but I got my shit figured out.
Yep, pretty much.
But anyway, I think bottom line is, guys, you can't wait around for motivation because sometimes you're just not going to be motivated. And so you need to, for lack of a better way of putting it, manufacture your own motivation, which is forcing yourself to do what needs to be done. So my challenge to you guys would be, especially if you are struggling with motivation, is to sit down and figure out a schedule for yourself, whether you want to put in 10 hours a week, 20 hours a week, 40 hours or more.
Or put in, if you wanted to make a goal of what is your dollar amount that you're trying to reach per week and go backwards from that. What is your dollar amount? How many sales does it take you to get to that dollar amount? What's your percentage of sales that close every week? So that means you need to list X number of items per week.
Yeah. But it needs to be consistent.
Whatever way you need to do it.
Because here's the thing. Here's what happens when people wait for motivation. They all of a sudden they have like this surge of motivation and they're like, I'm gonna figure this all out. This is what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be amazing. Here we go. You go, either you source a bunch of stuff or you go through like your death piles or whatever, and then you're like, I'm listing 50 items a day, and then you have your first day and you get 50 items listed, and then your second day you get 50 items listed, and then your third day you're like super tired, and then you do 25, and then you're so sick of it, and then you go for weeks and you don't list anything again. Because you get super excited. And the thing is, you got to have that balance. You can't go full throttle at a level that's not sustainable, because what you'll do is you'll burn out, and then you'll feel disappointed and upset with yourself that you didn't follow through with what you thought was a real awesome plan. And I'm telling you, it wasn't an awesome plan. So
it happens.
My challenge to you is to figure out what your weekly time is going to be, and then figure out how, like, literally write down a schedule for yourself to make sure that you have a balance of listing, photographing, sourcing, all that stuff. And be conservative. Like I said, like don't set your balance of like, oh, I'm going to list 100 items a day. That's going to be super awesome.
Because then you're not going to reach the goal, and then you're going to go, frig it. Because that's what I do.
Yeah. So you can set like a weekly goal, set a monthly goal, however you want to do it. But make sure you have some daily activity in there. So maybe on your little list of things, you're going to say, I'm going to go in and check in every day on the Boss Facebook group and those different daily challenges. But basically, just set up a little schedule for yourself and try to follow that. I don't know.
Right. And I don't know, Thrifting Nomads, I don't know if this is Will or Jenny that signed in right now, but it's true. So it's okay if you take a day off. You should have a day off. You should have 2 days off. We never even take a single day off the entire day. And that's probably not healthy either. So you should take a day off. You should take 2 days off. Spend some time with your family. Spend some time with your friends. Find that work-life balance.
Yeah. But I've been listing every day the past few days, and I'm so ready for tomorrow because tomorrow's my day. I'm not going to list it all. I get to go sourcing, and to me, that's like lots of fun, and I need to have that like outlet. And that's also why I tell people like don't sit there and go, I'm going to go on a sourcing freeze. Like it's okay to allow yourself, give yourself a reward, figure out what is it that you like the best about this work, and have that be your reward for the end of the week. But you got to set those goals first.
Right.
So.
And part of the reason why we do work 6 and 7 days a week is because we take trips. And when we take trips and go away, we're not working. We do source, but we don't work. Like we're going to Rhode Island to visit my family and friends again at the end of May. And that'll be 7 days, 6 or 7 days that we're not going to be working. And we're going to, go and be camp counselors. And we're going to be gone for 10 days in Northern Washington in July. And then there's eBay Open. You will not be working during eBay Open. It's all day long. So that's like 2 weeks in a row that we're not going to be doing any work right in July. And then we go away again in October for a week. So it's like, in order to take that time, we need to make sure that we maximize our working time every other time of the year. So there's 4 to 5 weeks a year that we don't work.
Yeah.
And what other job gives you 4 or 5 weeks vacation?
For sure. And the thing is, I think it's okay that we work 7 days a week, as long as we are at the very least taking steps to make sure that we're doing some fun stuff for us. And we do really have fun on our sourcing days. And now we're doing our little Saturday date night and making sure that we have time for friends. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Just being able to have
I can't
that
tell
balance.
how many people are watching live right now because you've had that blocked the whole show, so I don't really know. Usually Wednesday is our lowest number of people that watch it live because we kind of do 129, 130 people watching. So thanks guys.
Thanks guys.
Because it's business related, and we do have the one thing that we keep forgetting to mention as we're starting to wrap this up is we do have a sponsor for the show. Our boss up and list live show. We do have a sponsor, and it is Sizely.
You're hitting the thing while you're talking.
Size.ly. They are a great listing tool that helps you with your listings for those that are clothing resellers. They help with measurements, and you can put them right into your listings, and it's so much easier than typing out your listings yourself, and it's really an invaluable tool. And if you sign up through the link below or go onto their website and check it out, there is a free version which has some limited templates that you can use, but there's also their pro version, which is I believe $7 a month. $8 a month. And that's probably one of the lowest priced subscriptions as an eBay seller or Posh seller or Etsy seller, whatever kind of seller that you are selling clothing. That's probably one of the lowest subscription tools that I've ever seen.
Well, and we use it daily.
Yeah.
Thrifty Nomads, I'm an Aries too. I'm a cusper. I'm the last day of Aries. Just so you know.
She's totally a Taurus.
April 19th. But hey, one more time, guys. I just want to make sure I hammer this home. We're challenging you guys. Go ahead. Figure out a schedule, like kind of a weekly schedule. It can be loose. You don't have to like stick to it super hard, but figure out some sort of schedule for yourself, some sort of accountability, and see if you can stick with it, let's say through the next month, and see if it makes any difference. And if you need to use tools like our listing challenges that we do every single day in the boss group, go ahead and take advantage of that because it could definitely help you. But like I said, you have to create your own motivation. You can't wait for it to come to you because a lot of times it's not, especially when you're having a crappy day. Or dealing with issues, gotta make it happen. Gotta make it happen. Anyway, guys,
like I'm not gonna get much listing done today because you know what? I am going and getting a manicure, and then I have to go run some errands.
Yep.
And then I'm gonna come home and I'll do some listing, but it's not gonna get much. I'm not gonna get much done because I got stuff to do.
Yeah. And I need to. Oh, the other thing that we figured out. This is something that we just started doing recently. Is I am the keeper of the alarm clock. And so we've started like setting alarms for everything.
So anybody that may or may not suffer from PTSD, anyone that does may understand this. PTSD, one of the symptoms is that you have short-term memory loss, difficulty with short-term memory. It's a very common thing. So that's another reason why I like my lists, because if I don't have a list, I will forget. You can tell me something an hour to hour, it goes away. So I need to make lists because I was cussing myself out because I had a 7 a.m. conference call on Monday morning and I was half an hour late for it because I did not set an alarm.
Well, you just totally forgot about it.
And I wrote everything down. I had it on my computer. I'm like, I'll be up. I'll set an alarm. I'll be fine. I'm always up early. Well, with the time change and then not setting my alarm, I woke up half an hour late for this conference call, which was, about you know, I'm speaking on a professional panel.
Yeah.
In April for a convention, and I had 8 people here on that call waiting for me, and I was 30 minutes late for the call, and I was so mad at myself.
My day started that day to me waking up to her running down the stairs while screaming loudly, "I'm such an irresponsible C word." It was, I mean, afterwards
it was F, 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 F,
yeah, it was
F,
kind of
F.
funny. But anyway, so actually, like right after we get off the show, I'm gonna set an alarm to make sure that on Friday I take the dogs into the groomers, because I was gonna do that last Friday, and it just completely. It wasn't that I decided to put it off. It was like I completely forgot about it, and it was like later in the day Friday, and we were like, oh, we were gonna do that with the dogs. So now it's like I told her, like, anytime you think of something, anytime something comes into your head, like, oh, I'm doing this on this day, I go, tell me to set an alarm, because she doesn't always have her phone next to her. I will set an alarm on my phone, and that way when it goes off, it'll be all good. So
Susie, the C word is my favorite word, right up there with the F word. I have to say. Sunny, I am a Gemini, actually, not a Libra. I am all Gemini.
Yeah.
So
all right, guys, we're an hour in, so we got works to do. We got the works to do.
I got nails to do.
Yeah, she's gonna get her nails done. But thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us on the show. I think this is an important topic that it helps everybody, hopefully. But we will see you
and I know
all.
It seems so elementary. It really does. When I look at these things, and we talked about doing this as a topic, I was like, yeah, but don't we already talk about that? But it's true. It seems like there are a lot of people that need that help and that motivation. And, you know.
Yeah. And sometimes you need to hear things like multiple times, so it's okay.
But I like to talk about it with other people too, because realize that, you know, lots of you guys have a lot of the same issues. We all struggle with crap. So
true story. Anyway, guys, appreciate you. We'll see you on Friday for No Pants Friday, hopefully. Go get some work done. Set some goals. Set up a schedule for yourself if you need to.
Set some boundaries.
Set some boundaries, damn it. Set some GD boundaries. God! Jeez!
All right, already.
Bye.
Bye.